Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing great. Thanks for joining in. Let's get started. First of all, thank you for joining in. Um, Today's webinar is more about giving you guys a preview of our upcoming release, which is a project management feature. Before I actually begin, just a quick housekeeping items. We are recording this webinar so that those of you who were not able to make it, we'll guys send you the recording and then you guys can go over that. And if you come across any questions while I'm presenting this, feel free to leave it in the chat. And I do have my colleagues on the call who will be more than happy to answer your questions. Okay. Okay. So let's just begin the webinar now. So let's just define the agenda. So we'll first talk about the project management feature. We'll also show you guys what we are coming up with, how those features gonna help you. And then we'll also talk about how exactly this feature will change of your existing workflow. Because with this feature, obviously it's gonna enhance your existing functionalities, but then it will also change your workflow a little bit. And then along with this, we also have planned a lot of other enhancements. So we'll also talk about that. Okay. So this is the major agenda that we'll be going through. Okay. Just give me a second. So let's just understand what is Xenett as of today. If you look at Xenett at a very high level today, it mainly helps you manage your day-to-day routine task, and then it also helps you with the close process, right? So when we talk about helps you manage the day-to-day routine task, you may have your weekly or daily task for which you might be using to-do module. And then when we say it helps with managing month and close process, we have a close module where you have created your close processes, your checklist, your task, and that is how it's been helping you. But uh, like in like today's world, like there's it's much more than this. There might be a lot of other projects that you might end up working with. For example, you may have a new client and you want to work on the onboarding for that. You may have a project to manage their tax preparation. You may have a cleanup project. You may have a migration project from one software to another. So we have been getting this feedback like there wasn't an easy way to manage all these different kinds of project, because right now what used to happen was that you guys would use this to do module and then you would just like use, I mean, create all of those tasks under the to do module, right? So what we are coming up with today is more of a project feature where you can actually create a project, and underneath that project you may have the different task, right? So let's just say if I'm onboarding a particular client, I can actually create all the tasks related to that onboarding project under that project itself, right? So that way I can now also easily track all my clients onboarding project very easily. Correct. So like this is what Zenit has been doing it. But if we look at now with this release, which is gonna be upcoming, you will be able to manage all the different kinds of projects. For example, let's just say you want to create a weekly bookkeeping project wherein you can have all of your weekly tasks for that particular client. Similarly, you can also have a monthly month end close project where you can manage all of your month end closing tasks. Likewise, in case if you are onboarding a particular client, you can also track that. Similarly, you can literally create as many projects as you like. Now, the way it's going to help you is that at your firm level, let's just say if I'm a firm owner, I will have a very good visibility as to where things are in terms of all these different kinds of projects. So it's like at the top, I can see a dashboard that will tell me like, hey, uh, what is going on with all my clients onboarding? What is going on with all my clients month end close process? What is going on with my clients tax preparation project, right? Until now, like if I just now kind of show you what Zenit looks like right now, there wasn't a way to do that because it was majorly focusing on individual task. Like there is a to do module, but all you could see was mainly the independent task, right? So let's just say until now, if you were creating this task like inside to do module, there wasn't a way for you to know like where this particular client's onboarding stands, where this particular client's tax preparation project stands, right? So to overcome this, we are coming up with this feature that will allow you to now manage or even create or manage group of tasks underneath the project feature. Okay. And one of the other feedback that we've also been getting is that a lot of you guys were also using Xenett more as an add-on uh, to your existing project management system, meaning you may have your like altogether different practice management software that you are already using it, but then you were also using Xenett, right? So now like the feedback that we've been getting is like if we are able to also introduce this project management feature, it could be probably one less app that you have to worry about because now you can actually manage all of your project related tasks inside Zenit. Okay, so that is a like a brief background. Now I'm gonna actually show you how that's gonna work. So again, we have not released this as I mentioned before. This is this will be available very soon, probably in like 10 days. But I just, this webinar is more to give you guys heads up as to what we are coming up with. So it doesn't come as surprise altogether. Okay, perfect. So now, so Ritesh, if you can please confirm that you are looking at my Zenit screen.
Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right. The way it's gonna work is that you guys gonna see the project module here, and then let me show you how fundamentally it's gonna work. So let's just say I wanted to like I'm in a client called SRH Titans, and let's just say this is the very first time I'm onboarding this client. So I want to create a project for this client. So new, click on project, you would just say, hey, it's onboarding. I'm gonna select the onboarding project type. I'll explain what this project type is. Who is going to lead this onboarding? So I'm going to lead it. Obviously, onboarding is not recurring. It's one-time project, so it's one time. And then, okay, when it's going to start, it's going to start 15th of May, and then you would just create it, right? So like I just ended up creating a project for onboarding. Obviously, it's going to come blank for the very first time. So either you can add those tasks manually or you can import it from the template. So in this case, I already have a template. So I'm going to click here on template. I'm going to select the onboarding template and then click on next. Okay, here are my all of the tasks in this template. Click on it. Okay, there are some tasks I have my bookkeeper to do it, and then some task I have my review to do it. So I'm just gonna click on import, and then within seconds, my uh, like project will be ready with all the tasks. Okay. Previously, obviously, this feature was not available. The idea here is that now you have all of the task specifically for the onboarding under one roof, right? So that way, what's going to happen is that as you are finishing the task, let's just say this particular task, I'm kind of in progress. This particular task is, let's just say, is completed, or this particular task, right? So what's going to happen with this is that when you are at the top, so now let's just say if I'm going at the top at my firm level and when I'm looking at all of my projects, I can clearly see where my onboarding stands for this particular client, right? I can see the status, I can see how many tasks have been done, right? So basically it's more of a project overview that I can get it from here. So onboarding was just one example, right? If I give you some more examples, so let's just say if we go into this client, just a second, and then you wanted to create the recurring project, right? So that is also possible. The examples of recurring project could be, it could be the monthly close project, it could be your 1099 project, which is more of a year end project, right? So you can also do that. So when you click on new, again the same thing. Here you might just say monthly close, project type is close, recurrence it's going to be monthly, And then here, accounting period is also important because you have to define for which particular month that you want to start like for the close on, right? So in this case, you would just say, hey, I wanted to start working for May, and again, everything remains same. You just like define it, assign whatever the due date is, okay, and then manager, and then create it, right? So this is how you can also create the monthly close project, and then you can just get this going. Like you can literally create any project to manage your onboarding or close, right? And that way, what's going to happen next is that, see, everything is now run through a project, right? And that will then give you a better visibility at the top. So let me also show you. So now when I'm at the top and when I'm looking at all the projects, I also have a good view. So let's just say I wanted to see all my clients onboarding. So I have a view. When I click on it, now I can see all my clients onboarding on one page. Similarly, let's just say I wanted to see what is going on with monthly close for all my clients. I can then just switch the view and just say, hey, this is what is going on with all my clients monthly close, right? So for this client, it's in progress. For this client, I'm waiting on a client. So the idea is that as you have all of these projects, you can also create different views, and that gives you a very high level visibility to where visibility as to where things are. Okay. So, I mean, all like in simple words, even though it sounds like a big feature, all we have tried to do, like in simplest way, we already had task in our system, right? We just added a layer, like we just added a feature called project. Now we have linked those tasks under a project so that now you can actually track the progress, right? So that is like in a way it's pretty simple, but like that will actually give you guys a lot of utility, the way that you guys were managing your to-dos and the way you guys were managing your close process. Okay, so fundamentally, it's still the same task, whether it's a close or to-dos. We have just linked it with the project, and now with that, you guys will get a lot of more visibility at the top level. Okay, now let's just understand like the project feature little bit in depth because it comes with so many other use cases as well. Okay, so let's just understand what is project type. That is also quite important. So we have, like, you can actually also create different project type. Project type is nothing but all the different kinds of services that you might be doing. Like it could be bookkeeping or cleanup and close and migration, onboarding, tax preparation, whatever it could be. The reason why we have this project type here is that it will allow you to also manage different statuses for each project type. For example, for the project close, I may have different statuses just for the close. I may have different statuses for onboarding, correct? For example, in case of close, I have a status for like called prepared and reviewed because when I'm working on a close project, I want to see those statuses. Instead, if I'm working on onboarding, I want to see the different statuses, right? So the idea is that that also gives you customization in case if you want to have customized status for each of these different kinds of project as well, right? Because sometimes you may need different statuses for closing task and you may need different statuses for the onboarding. So it all depends what kind of work that you are working on. Based on that, you can also customize the statuses as well. Okay, so that is that. And on the project screen, you can also create all the different kinds of view. I was just giving showing you guys an example. Like you can create a list view, which is what we are looking at it, and then you can also create the board views. Like, and you can also quickly switch the project status as well by moving it here and there. Okay, so that's that. So that is that. Now let me actually show you like how your existing tasks and the close process will be managed. Okay, so what I have done here is that I have the same client here, which is in live. This is the existing Xenett that you guys are using it. So let me show you guys. So let's just say if I'm in SRH Titans right now, what you guys are seeing is that Okay, so you have a to do, which is where you guys are managing your day-to-day routine task. Okay, and then you have a close module where you are just managing the close close related task. Now with this new version, what's gonna happen? Because now there is no to do. Let me actually jump into that client SRH Titans. So it doesn't make sense now to have a to do module or a close module. So now you see the projects. Okay, inside project you will have like a general task and then you have a closing task, right? So let's just say if I go to general task, all my to dos. So let me show you. So in this case, if I go to do, all my to dos will then show up under the general task. It's exactly the same thing. It's just that because everything is aligned or linked with the project, we have to show it under one project. So what we have done is that we have just named it as a general task, but you guys can change it whatever you like. So let's just say you don't want to call it a general task, but something else. You can just call it like, hey, I don't want to call it. I want to say bookkeeping task. So you can even do that. So that is like totally customizable. So now that's called bookkeeping task. Same task, everything remains same. You have the same task, assignee, statuses, due date, which is what you have in a to-do module. Okay. So to-do module, it's all good. Now, one thing, obviously the tasks are there, but what additionally you guys can now do is that in case if you want to track the progress, you can do that because as you complete each of these tasks, there's a progress bar that you can also track. Okay. So to do, it's more or less the same thing. In case of close, now let's just understand how the close process is going to work. So I'm going to switch to the existing close module of Xenett. So let me get there. So at present, this is what the close process looks like. Okay. Now, one thing to be noted here is that, see, in the existing Xenett, we have a statuses for to do, but then for closing task, we did not have any sort of statuses, right? We had a sign off process. That is one thing that will be actually changed, and that is the only thing that will be changed in terms of close process. So let me now take you inside the close process. Okay, so right now we are in monthly close. Okay, the only thing that would be changed is the sign off process. It's because like it's a project feature is like one and then it's a universal workflow, right? So it doesn't make sense to have a sign off process here and then the different process for different project. So what we have done is that we have introduced the status column, excuse me, introduce the status column, and that is the only thing that will be changed. Otherwise everything remains same. Okay, but with this actually gives you a lot of other enhancements, and let me talk about that. Okay, so taking you back to existing Xenett right now, I mean, if we talk about entries without name, right, there is no way for you guys to know whether somebody is working on it or not, because either it's sign off or whether it's done or not done, right? There is no way to even assign a particular status to any of this task. And now that is possible because what's going to happen with this, you can actually also introduce some different statuses. So like you, in this particular case, you could just say, hey, I'm in progress, or this is in question. And you can customize these statuses however you like. Okay. So you could actually further assign different kind of statuses here as well. Second thing, in this case, there is no way to create subtask. So in this case, like bank accounts, you have separate task for that. For fixed assets, you have all the separate task for that, right? So if, for example, in this case, this is a separate task, this is a separate task. So like in a way, there have been so many tasks. There wasn't a way to group it together, but now you can literally change it, the hierarchy as well. You can actually introduce the subtask as well. So in this case, again, this is just a sample. We're not going to be changing anything for you guys. It is going to be exactly the same how you have set it up inside Xenett right now. But I'm more talking about what you will be able to do once this is out. So in this case, you can even think of like that, like, hey, I have a only one parent task, which is fixed assets review, and underneath you can group together the related task, right? So overall, your task list would be very, very reduced. Okay, so that's also an additional benefit that you guys will be getting it. The third thing is okay. The third thing that will be available is in existing Xenett, we do not start the close automatically. Like every month, you would go in and then you would have to start the close. Okay. But in case of the project recurrence, there is no need for you to start the close. It will automatically be started, and you guys can decide how soon or like you guys can actually decide how many days before you want to actually recur this project. So in this case example, let's just say um, here sorry, not here, here you can actually define like every month I want my close to start 1 week before, right? So let's just say my next month is going to be June, sorry, May, and I want that close to start 5 days before or 6 days before, or like it's totally flexible, totally customizable. So that way it will actually take away your pain of starting the close manually. So imagine if you have connected your 50, 60, or 100 clients, you there is no need for you guys to start those close manually. Like once you define that frequency, the close will automatically be started. So that will also be possible with this. Okay. All right. So that's that. Another thing is that this closing task in existing Xenett version, those tasks are not present at the top level. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is the existing Xenett, and when I'm sitting at the top, the only task that I can see right now is the to do. Like there is no way for me to view the closing task. Okay, so those closing tasks right now are created inside the client. So if you had to plan something about your close, like what are the tasks due today or tomorrow, there wasn't a way to do that. But with this, it would be all possible. Okay, so now imagine when you are sitting at the top, and then when you look at the task, you would now be able to see all the tasks across all the projects, right? So that way it will also further help you plan your day or week or month. So that is also an additional benefit that you guys will be getting with this project feature as well. Okay, so that's that. And in all this, it will also like overall our Xenett setup will also be very, very less confused. Let me show you that. Right now, when you click on settings, if you look at it, because there's a to do module and there's a separate close module, we also have independent separate settings for each of them. Like we have a to do settings where you have statuses here, and then for to do, you have custom fields. Similarly, even for the close, you have its own statuses, and then you have custom fields for that as well. Similarly, you have templates. For templates also, you have a closed templates, and then you have to do templates as well. Similarly, like even the folders, like you have a separate folders for to do, separate folders for close as well. Now with this project feature, it will all be kind of very, very simplified, right? So now what's going to happen when you are in settings and there's just one project settings, everything is run through project, right? So like here you define all of your projects, and then this is like universal task setting. Okay, and then if you want to have a statuses, so and I already explained, so if you need separate statuses for bookkeeping project, separate statuses for close, separate statuses for onboarding, that's all possible as well. This is like all the universal statuses that you have here. Like once you have all of your statuses here, you can define that, hey, for onboarding, I I would just say, hey, I don't really need to see the reviewed or prepared, I would just expect completed, right? I don't need to see ready to start. So basically you can decide and choose which statuses that you want to apply to the specific template. So overall your configuration will be also very, very simpler as well with this. Okay, so that's that. And then even the sections, right? So we actually renamed this terminology. We used to call this as a folder, but now we're gonna call it as sections, right? So let me show you how that works. So let's just say if I go to a particular client, SRH Titans, and then if I am into project, uh, monthly close. So we are now calling this as section, and then we just added some more features with this. In case if you want to rename it, you can just do it from right here. In case if you want to some color code it, again, these are like some of the things that will enhance overall experience. So all of those things you'll be able to do it from here. In case if you wanted to add a new section, you can just do it from here as well, right? So we have just changed the terminology called section. So even that is like standardized as well. In existing Xenett, you used to go to settings and then templates and then folders. So you were managing it here for to do, you were managing it for close separately, but it's all in one now. And there is no need for you to like, there is no separate settings for sections. Like wherever you are, in case if you want to change something, you just do it from here, right? There is no separate settings for that. So that's also like, so in all, overall, the settings have also been reduced. It's very, very standardized now with this project feature as well. Okay. All right. So that's that. Let me just quickly see if there are any questions. I would just address it. And Ritesh, I wasn't looking at the chat, but if you come across any questions, you can also kind of tell me, and I can cover that as well. Are there any questions, Ritesh, that require my attention, or you're good?
No, I am all good. I will
Okay.
respond.
So just to sum, I mean, like before I actually jump on to cover other things, I just wanted to like summarize this. While it sounds like a new feature, and then it might change things, like especially the sign off process for close, but rest assured, it actually gonna simplify your workflow to a great extent, and also your entire settings and everything will be very, very simple on your end. Whenever this goes live, there isn't anything that you guys have to do, right? It will all be set up in a way that you guys can just simply start doing it. The only thing that you guys will need to be aware is about changing the statuses instead of sign off for the close, right? There is nothing like that you have to create any project or anything. Everything will be set up automatically, right? I was actually explaining the project feature just in case if you want to start using it to manage the different kind of project, then and then you have to create it. But otherwise, it will be all created. So just to summarize, in case if you are using to do module, right, all of your existing task will be migrated into this. So what's gonna happen? There will be a project called general task under each client, and then under that you will be able to find all of your to dos underneath here. Okay. In case of close, you will have this project for monthly close, and then you will be able to find all of the tasks. So your data and like it's all the same data, like the same task will roll over your history and everything. It's a different packaging. That's it, right? And as I told you, you don't have to worry about creating anything manually to it's not going to disrupt any of your existing workflow as such, right? It's more of you just will feel little changes in the design. Obviously we have done it to improve overall visibility and the look and feel, but the major thing, like the only thing is this status is for the close process, because it used to be the sign off process. Now it's going to be the statuses. That's it, right? So that's that. So that is the only thing that you need to guys be familiar. That's it. Otherwise, it's all good. Okay. So that's that. Now with this, we will also be coming up with some more improvements. So okay, even before that, there's some couple of quick improvements that I would like to tell you. Is that so let's just say if you have some task in Excel. So let's just say I have this few tasks in Excel. I can actually copy it, and then here I wanted to add it under profit and loss review. I can click here, paste it, and it says, hey, multiple lines, create 7 tasks. So now you don't need to do one by one. It's a small thing, but it's gonna be very, very handy. So now all of your tasks are created just by pasting it. Okay, so that's that. And even you can either create task from here or you can just do it from here as well. So that's also totally possible. The bulk action will continue to work the same way it used to work. So like let me just delete them. It's not necessary and delete it. Okay, so that's taken care as well. Next thing we have done is we also improvise the reporting module. So let me actually talk about that. So if I go to close, so if I go to SRH Titans, we were only showing the four reports: the balance sheet, profit and loss, AP aging, and AR aging. That is it, right? There wasn't a way to add any of these reports, but now with this new revamped reporting module, you will be able to do quite a lot more. Okay, so what's gonna happen is that uh, you can actually add various reports. We have actually added quite a bit reports here. So in case if you wanted to add a class, location, actual versus budget, cash flow, trial balance, you will be able to do that. So it's like previously those reports were in a way available, like, but all you had to do was you had to kind of like change the settings here. Like in this case, right now it's profit and loss by month. And if you wanted to see the class, what you had to do was you had to come here and then change it by class. But now you will have all of those reports separately available as well. Okay, so that's that. Second thing that we have done the change here is that with the profit and loss and balance sheet, like there were some columns that we have actually handled smartly. So in this case, actually, let me just show you. I'm just gonna change to one period and then columns I want. So recently we had added one more column here. It's called review note. Sorry, permanent note, right? So I mean, one of the feedback that we were getting, while these columns are certainly very, very helpful, but overall, like it was confusing. Like it was making the overall UI confusing because now we have a review note and then we have permanent note and then obviously we have internal comments. So it was also creating some confusion about when to use what. So what we have done is that we have improvised this. Like we introduced this comment column where if you have a review note, right, you just type in here like, hey, this account. Uh, the example could be review note like hey, in this particular month the account balance has gone down because we paid off a particular loan, right? So you just type in here, simple way. So in this case, I'm just gonna type in taste for now. So now that becomes your review note. Okay. In case if you wanted to ask a question, you just do the same thing, like why this account. So it's internal comment. Why is this account showing negative balance, right? I'm just not typing in, but just to give you guys a glimpse. So now let's just say if this was a question that you wanted to ask someone, you just do the same thing. All you simply do, just come here and then just assign the particular person name. So you would just say, hey, I wanted to ask this question to this guy, and then just click on send, right? So that's also like you just do it from here. Okay. Now, in case if you wanted to like have some instruction and then you wanted to attach it like permanently with any of this account, let's just say if there is a specific instructions on any particular balance sheet account that you want to pin it. So here is what you can do it. So any command that you have it, you just type in here, but all you simply do, just click here and pin it, right? Now, once you pin that particular command, it will stay here permanently. So when you then move to the next clause or the next clause after that, that command will always show up on the front itself, right? So whoever is reviewing this balance sheet, they'll always know because this is a pinned command and they'll be, so basically it's like instead of calling it permanent note, we'll just call it pinned command. So that becomes your permanent note, right? So in all this, you're not seeing so many different columns here. Like there is just one window for you guys to see all the communication, because previously you have review note here and then permanent note here and then your comments here, right? So it's like all, so that is what we were, that is what we wanted to simplify it. Now all of your communication will then show up here at one place. Okay, so that is one small improvement that we have done it. And along with that, another improvement that we have done is that, see, right now I'm working on March close. Okay, and let's just say I did some communication. uh, Actually, let me take you here in existing Xenett version. So right now I'm working on March close. Let's just say I did some communication here, and then there are some open comments. I have asked my colleague about it. The next close I'm moving, I would not be able to see those previous months comments, right? Because it starts fresh. I would not be able to see any of my previous comments in my next close. So now all of your comments will also roll forward, right? So if, for example, if you have any communication going on in the month of March, and then if you are now going in April, you'll also be able to see those communication as well, right? So that way, I think this was also a suggestion that have came from you guys. So that will also be possible with this release as well. Okay, so that's like some improvements that we have done with the comments section, comments feature. Okay, so that's that. And then we have also done some more improvements with the client dashboard. So let me show you that as well. So right now, the client dashboard mainly gives you these three information: reconciliation status, profit and loss snapshot, and transactions count. So we have also revamped that. So what's going to happen when you click on client dashboard? Uh, on the left hand side, you have some basic information about the client, projects, all like any ongoing projects for that particular client. You can find it here. In case if you wanted to write some notes specific for that client, like hey, this industry or that, any links or any information, you can actually put it here. And the other information remains same, like transactions count, reconciliation status, and profit and loss snapshot, even the client portal, client questions overview as well. So the idea is that from this screen, you can visualize what is going on with your client. And this is also customizable. So in case if you do not like anything or change the order, you can click on customize it. You can change the sequence. You can turn it off, turn it on, and you will be able to kind of manage it that way as well. Okay, so that is like a client dashboard is revamped. Um, these are all the client properties. Uh, we have also made some changes with the client properties as well. So many of you guys want to track some information about that particular client. So with the client properties, you'll be able to do that. So let me actually show you. Right now, if you go to settings and client, this is existing Xenett. You would come here, client properties, and then you would create all the different fields here. Okay, now this fields, this information would actually then show up. um, let me show you. So on your client list you will be able to see this information here. Okay, this is the only place that we were displaying this information. But once you were inside the client, we were not displaying this information at all, right? So it's level. So like what you would do, you would come here and then you would see the information from here. But now, once you are here inside the client, you can easily find those information from here. And then with the client properties, you'll also be able to create sections. Like for example, it says about client. Okay. But if you wanted to introduce a new section and underneath, if you wanted to show some client properties, you'll also be able to do that. So let me show you. Inside settings, and then please excuse my throat. I kind of have a bad throat this morning. So inside client properties, so now you can also create a section. Like in this case, it's about client. But in case if you wanted to introduce a new section, you can also do that. And you can actually place any of these client properties inside that. And based on this, your client dashboard will show up those sections and those properties accordingly. Okay. So that was also a small change that we've done it. And even with the users, you can like also see which users have access. In case if you wanted to invite a new user, you can actually do it from here. A same way, in case if you wanted to invite a client user, you can also do it from here as well, right? So those are like some of the convenient ways to even manage your client and internal users as well. Okay, so that is also a change that we have done it. All right, let me just see other things real quick. All right, and then one more enhancements, and this is a great news for our zero customers, like all those customers who are using zero. And I mean, you guys know that zero API has its own limitations. Like it would only allow us to do certain things. For example, if I wanted to, let's just say, edit the reconcile transactions in zero, it would not allow us to do that, right? But now we have figured out a way we will be able to do that. So what's going to happen is that, and it will be, it's still not allowing, the API is still not allowing it, but with the extension that we have it, our Xenett's extension, you guys will now be able to even edit zero transactions as well, right? So it is just the first breakthrough that we have got it. We have already identified so many other things that API would not allow us to do that. But with our browser extension, we will be able to do that. And this is not just the case with zero, but even in case of QuickBooks, there was certain information that API would not give us. But now with the help of this extension, we will be able to do that. So just as you guys know, we'll be releasing like whenever we will be releasing this, you guys will be able to edit the zero transactions temporarily. So like I mean, again, we'll send the separate announcement related to extension afterwards. But I wanted to share this important update with you as well, because I think we've already identified so many other areas where all those bottlenecks related to API, I mean, we'll be able to do quite a lot more with the help of extension, right? So again, more to come soon on extension side, but I just wanted to get you guys update on that. Okay. So yeah, these were the major highlights like that I like as to what we are coming up with and what is changing. Obviously, there will be some communication we'll be sending out very, very soon. But the idea here for today's webinar is to give you guys a heads up as to like why we are doing all this, right? We've been hearing you guys, and this is not like we're doing all of these changes out of the blue. It's like we've been regularly working with many of you and we've been getting feedback, and based on that we kind of coming up and making all these changes, right? So this is what is coming up. We'll be releasing in this month itself. So what we thought is that once you guys are done with the the close process, so maybe this will be released end of this month as well, and we'll send out some communication around that, right? So that's that. And then uh, let me just see if I have any questions to take care. Just a second. Ritesh, any questions that you think of I need to answer?
Yes, there is one question. How is strict sign off translated into this process?
Sorry?
Strict sign off translated into this process.
A strict sign off.
Yes.
Yeah, so strict sign off is something we kind of figuring out yet. I mean, we will have it, but just need to figure it out. But it will be available. But we're just kind of sorting it out, like how that will be doable. So no additional cost. Like so, I saw some question about additional cost. So there is no additional cost for that. Any changes on client portal side? Not yet. Client portal will remain the same because we don't want client portal experience, but we do have a lot of enhancements planned for client portal as well. But again, we need to be very, very careful before we make any changes with the client portal, because so again, we don't have much more updates with the client portal yet, but very soon it will also be kind of, we do have some great ideas on that side as well. So any other questions, Ritesh?
No, all questions are
No.
answered. Yeah.
Okay, all questions are answered. Okay, so one last thing, excuse me. Actually, I also wanted to, I mean, we do have some times. I also wanted to give you guys some sneak peek about also one of the other feature that we are coming up, and that's gonna be somewhere by end of June. I already actually reached out to some of our customers to get their feedback, but let me actually talk about that. Okay, so see, right now what is happening is that whenever I'm into particular client, I'm working on this close. What this does right now, I mean, it would just tell me like, hey, this is the issue, you fix it, right? And that is it. And then when you go to, let's just say, profit and loss or reports, these are like still the aliens. Like, I mean, these numbers don't tell you anything. Even though you have fixed some of these errors, you still end up spending time checking this out, right? For example, if you're looking at this bank account, you still do not know in a way like whether this bank account is reconciled or not, whether there are any reconciliation discrepancy or not, whether there have been any changes to the reconciled transactions or not. So for that, what you do, you go to QuickBooks file, you open the reconciliation statement and just make sure it's all good, right? Similarly, let's just say if you are reviewing accounts payable, I mean, this is just the number. So what you do, you go and review AP aging, look for vendors with overdue bills, or look for vendors with negative balances or unapplied balances, right? So what you end up still doing is you're looking at here and then you like juggling at the different places to find that information and confirm whether these numbers are right or not. So what we are actually planning to do is we are automating the entire profit and loss and balance sheet review. So let me actually show you what we are coming up with. Okay. So now, right when you are in your profit and loss or balance sheet, you will be able to see the comments upfront. So basically, it's like imagine there is an AI agent that has already reviewed your profit and loss and balance sheet, has already told you that, hey, you got a problem with this account, you got like absolutely fine with this particular account, right? So like there is a clear visibility for each and every account on your balance sheet and profit and loss. So now imagine I'm looking at this balance sheet, I know there is a bank account here, it's reconciled till March, which is fine, but there are some transactions that require my attention. So what you do, you click here, you look at those transactions here, you fix it, and then you're done with it, right? There is no back and forth anywhere. Similarly, imagine you got undeposited funds. It tells you that, hey, you got some problem here. You click on it, you look at those issues, and you just fix it from here. Like intercompany, we will also be have it like it also automatically reconciles your intercompany accounts and tells you the difference upfront. Like, hey, you got this account. It can even pull the ledger from the different company. It can tell you like, hey, you got these transactions causing the difference, right? So all we are trying to do here is that you don't have to go anywhere. And then all of those information which is necessary for you guys to review your profit and loss and balance sheet will be available handy with the same account itself, right? So idea is that, I mean, we're gonna review it automatically for you. All of the comments will be ready. You just have to simply go in and fix it, right? So yeah, this is something I actually reached out to some customers to get their feedback as to what you guys think about it, and we got really great feedback. So we already started working on this, and we expect that somewhere by end of June we plan to roll this out. So this is also another thing that we are working on. So any questions or any feedback? What do you guys think about these changes? Is it exciting, not exciting? I don't need to hear the good things. So if there's any feedback or anything like that, please help us with that. So I'm not sure what latency that if you were facing, Kristen, exactly, but would love to hear about that. But yes, In all in, obviously, fundamentally, your architecture has also drastically been improved as well. So, in case if you were facing the issues, you would not. So, okay, thank you, Wendy, for confirming the idea, the finding column thing. Yeah. So, I mean, we do have solid ideas around that. It's just that from the concept perspective, we wanted to get some validation, so which we have got it. So Tina, the biggest reason why I wouldn't be able to consider Xenett right now as an alternative to carbon is that client tasks are not. Yep. So that is also coming, Tina. Right after this, we are also kind of rolling that out as well, right? So like, what's gonna happen along inside the project, in case if you also wanted to add a client task, that will also be possible. Yes. So you might have to wait for a little more, but that's coming for sure. Okay. Thank you, Kim, for the feedback. All right. Anyone else? I'm not sure, Tina, to be honest. I just don't want to give any false timeline, but we will get to know probably in a couple of weeks from now. So John, we expect to roll it out by end of this month. We will be planning in in any of the weekend, but we'll announce the date very soon. But it is certainly coming before end of this month. So uh, noted, Kristen. So we'll just update it, the roadmap. So and once we roll it out as well, guys, if you guys want to schedule a separate call with us, going over this, we'll be more than happy to do that as well, right? I know many of you have been requesting receipts. So yeah, I mean, we have been planning it for a while. It's just that a lot of the other things have been pushing it. But yes, we would plan it soon. I think that is it. Looks like. Probably wait for a minute to see if there are any more questions. We'll answer it. So, all right, guys. So, you guys will certainly get the recording. We'll also send you guys some more instructions and some more updates as we come closer. And yeah, like as I told you, feel free in case if you guys want to schedule a separate call going over this with your team. We'll be more than happy to do that as well. Okay. So there was a question, do the folders or the section will have to be the same across all the clients or can it be limited to particular clients? So Rose, I mean, right now the sections are at the top level. Uh, I mean, but let me actually just touch base on that real quick. Okay. So let's just say in case if you are in onboarding project, right? And if you're in this particular client, right now, the the folder are at the top level, but the way we have done it is like it's not gonna hurt you. So what's gonna happen? Let's just say you want to create a folder called bookkeeping here. So if it exists in the system, you will get it as suggestion. But if it does not exist, you can just simply open it, create the new section from here, right? So in a way, there is a master list that we have it for all the sections. So that way, you can either pick and choose from that master list, or you can create a new. So we're not restricting it by a specific client. Kelly, once again, this is just the start. So it's certainly coming. I do remember some of our customers already told us, but yes, we will have the calendar view very, very soon. So thank you, Rose. It's good, good. All right, guys. Looks like we are all good. Thank you very much, guys, once again for your time. I hope you like the updates. And if you have any feedback or any suggestions, feel free to reach out. And as I also told you, in case if you would like to separately connect and set up a call with your team, we'll be more than happy to do that. All right. So that's pretty much it for today. More announcements to come soon and more exciting features also to come soon. All right. Thank you and take care. Bye bye.